So Japan and China are started to sell their US Treasury holdings. China holds around about $800 billion worth, and Japan holds about 1.6 trillion of US assets, not all in bonds. So to say in bonds, it's about 1.2 trillion in US Treasuries. What exactly is the problem? Well, as China sells those bonds, in other words, it floods the market with US Treasuries, that will cause the price to fall and the yield to rise. And that is a headache for Jerome Powell of the US Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, and also for Donald Trump, because what Donald Trump is trying to do is trying to get interest rates down, and he's trying to get yields down. If yields come down, it means the cost of borrowing to the US government is cheaper. Quite simple. They pay less interest to the borrower. But at the moment, China and Japan are the main borrowers of US Treasuries. So any money coming into the States from inland revenue or any other type of tariff or trade war revenue is going to go to pay the Chinese and the Japanese. I don't think Donald Trump is so worried about it. Why? Because once China has essentially redeemed its US Treasuries, then it won't have that financial leverage over the US, and therefore there'd be more of a direct, clear-cut negotiation between China and the US. In addition to that, China holds around about 3% of total debt that the US has, which is between 36 and 37 trillion. What Elon Musk is trying to do with the Department of Government Efficiency is trying to cut that government waste and cut down the necessity for the US to continue borrowing money at such a high level. So what Trump wants to do and his administration is lower the level of requirement of debt, of borrowing, lower the level of interest that the US is paying, and trying to rebalance overall the structure within the US and in Washington. That's one of the reasons why he's applying this trade war, these tariffs to different countries. China will be selling its bonds, if not already sold. Japan is selling its bonds. So those are two main holders. Who will be buying them? Either the banks or the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve will buy back those bonds, and therefore by buying back those bonds, essentially what it's doing, it's releasing dollars into the system. Remember, when the Federal Reserve buys bonds, that releases dollars into the system. So you could have a superfluous use of dollars going on globally. Catch you later.